A Toyota? You expect me to pull up to a client meeting in this? People will think I drive Uber." I stood frozen, still holding the key. She turned and walked back into the party like I was valet. That night, I didn't sleep. I opened my laptop, and I typed, line after line, each string of code like a blade carving across my chest. I didn't cry. I just whispered, "No one, ever again, will look down on me." I thought that was the end. I didn't know. She was just getting started. My name is Jason. I'm 20. Grew up in a middle-class home in Sacramento, California. My parents didn't leave me a fortune, just a single phrase burned into my spine. Be better than we ever were. I've lived by that sentence ever since. I was the quiet math kid, the one people called weird, dry. In high school, I didn't have a girlfriend. Hell, I barely had friends. The girls I liked always went for guys in Gucci hoodies, driving rusted-out Mustangs, flashing that cocky half-smile that said, "You'll regret this one day." I always believed, if I worked hard enough, if I built something, if I could just prove my worth, then one day someone would look at me like I was their whole damn world. That hunger carried me through piles of coding textbooks, sleepless nights, and one soul-crushing investor rejection after another. And then I met her, Bella. Bella was the living definition of danger wrapped in silk. Wavy brunette hair, lips that always seemed glossed, wet, kissable, and eyes that curved like question marks, the kind that made you lean in, needing answers. She worked part-time at a boutique in the mall, but nothing about her said shop girl. The way she placed her latte on the table, the way she tilted her head and asked, "Do you think I'm more red or white?" Even that question made me feel chosen. Bella never asked for things, but she made me want to give them. With a deep kiss in the driver's seat, with a wrist grab in public that said, "You're mine," with a whisper of my name in the dark, like I was the only thing keeping her from falling apart. Every night with her beside me, I felt like I'd found the answer to my entire forgotten childhood. I thought, if I loved her hard enough, she'd need me back, really need me. 3 months passed like a fever dream. I told her about Rehome, my startup app for luxury furniture resale. She listened, nodded, smiled, and dragged her nails across my stomach. A startup? That's hot. I like men who gamble. I didn't know that was the first warning shot. Her birthday came. She said, "I don't need anything crazy, just something that shows you think about me." But I couldn't let that day pass like I was just another man walking through her life. I wanted her to know I was different. I wanted her to cry from gratitude. I wanted, just once, for her to look at me and feel proud. I picked up warehouse shifts at night, coded by day, lifting crates by night, emptied my savings, borrowed from Jace, my old college buddy, and bought a brand new black Toyota Camry. I tied the bow myself, named the GPS after her, even filmed a little happy birthday clip. I imagined her crying the second she saw it. I imagined her arms wrapping around me, her lips trembling as she whispered, "You're insane. I don't deserve you." I imagined wrong. That night, she held her party at a rooftop bar. I wore a suit for the first time in years. I led her outside, blindfolded her with the silk scarf she once said smelled like me, pulled off the cloth, held my breath. She opened her eyes, paused for 3 seconds, then laughed hard. "This?" she scoffed. "A Toyota? You expect me to pull up to a client meeting in this? People will think I drive Uber." I stood frozen, still holding the key. She turned and walked back into the party like I was valet. That night, I didn't sleep. I opened my laptop, and I typed, line after line, each string of code like a blade carving across my chest. I didn't cry. I just whispered, "No one, ever again, will look down on me." I thought that was the end. I didn't know. She was just getting started.
I didn't see her for 2 weeks after the night of her birthday. No texts, no calls, not a single apology. I deleted her number, but I couldn't delete her face from my mind. Every time I opened Rehome, I saw her eyes again, looking at the car I gave her like it was a disease. But I didn't stop. I coded like a man with nothing left, slept at my desk, lived on ramen and caffeine. Rehome started getting traction. I sent the beta to Jace, the only friend who stuck around after the blow-up. Jace dropped the first review video. 2 minutes. $4,800 designer couch resold on Rehome for $900. That clip hit 120,000 views in 2 days. I got 37 investor emails. One of them came from Karen Wu. Karen was different. Asian, icy, rimless glasses, studded heels that sounded like a warning every time she walked. First meeting, she didn't waste time. Just asked, "That girl, why'd she leave you?" I clenched my coffee, said nothing. She nodded. "Good. Means you're still alive." We signed the seed deal that same day, $80,000 for 15% equity. Karen left the cafe without a goodbye, just one text. "I'm investing because of the way you looked when I said her name." I started hiring, upgraded our servers, traded the Camry for a Tesla Model 3, not for flex, just to look the part. Things started to move, but deep inside, I was still bleeding. And then she came back. No warning, no apology. That night, I was working late at the office. Doorbell rang. Bella was standing there. White silk dress, loose hair, red eyes, no makeup. "I just wanted to see you." She stepped in. Her hand touched mine, eyes shimmering. "I miss the way you looked at me, like I mattered." I stayed silent. She leaned closer. "Just once, let me feel like I'm still a woman in your eyes." I should have said no, but I didn't. I let her in, let her crawl back into my bed, drown myself in the body that once betrayed me, all over again. She rode me like it was our last time, eyes shut, mouth moaning, hands gripping the back of my neck like a curse. "I won't leave you this time," she whispered. After she passed out, I got up, thirsty, walked into the kitchen. Her phone was unlocked, screen still lit, voice recorder app was running. File name, Jason, take 2. My hands shook. I hit play. My voice, my moans, and that one dumbass line, "No one makes me feel like a man, like you do." I got it then. She didn't come back for me. She came back for content. The next morning, she was gone. No note, no text. Just that old silk scarf, folded on my desk, with a smear of red lipstick on it. I sat down, stared into nothing. Thought I was rising, but really, I'd just been pulled back into the mud. Not by her, by me, my weakness. I realized Bella didn't return to make things right. She came back to see if I was still as easy to break. And I had answered, yes. Monday morning. I was mid-meeting with Karen and the dev team when Jace burst through the door, face pale like he'd just seen a corpse sit up. "Dude, you need to see this." He placed his phone on the table. A video started playing. A shaky female voice. "I don't want to say his name, but he's the CEO of a pretty well-known furniture app. We used to be in love." Bella, loose hair, white sweater, face soft, almost broken, like she'd just crawled out of trauma. She said, I thought I was part of his life, but turns out I was just a way for him to feel powerful. She never said my name, but behind her was a rehome laptop, logo clear as day. The video went viral at light speed. 3 hours in, I had 12 investor emails, 4 delayed, 1 dropped. Twitter exploded, Reddit went wild. Hashtags rolled in, hashtag justice for Bella, hashtag toxic CEO, hashtag cancel Jason. People called me Harvey Weinstein of startups. One guy even made a meme, founder or fuckboy. I didn't sleep for 3 days, didn't eat, didn't leave my chair, just scrolled. Every comment, every accusation. Celine slammed into my office, white button-up shirt, fire in her eyes. "You slept with her again?" she asked. I said nothing. "Answer me." Yes." Celine didn't cry, but her hand curled into a fist. "You just handed the media a bat and told them where to aim." Karen didn't call, just texted me one line. "Now we find out if you're worth investing in." I sat alone, staring at TikToks, tweets, blog posts. Every view felt like a slap. I remembered Bella's voice, whispering against my ear. "I like your power, but are you willing to use it to keep me?" I thought it was flirtation. No, it was a test. Jace showed up and said, "You've got 2 choices. 1, blame the world. 2, strike back. But if you pick 2, you better be colder than she is." I pulled office footage. Bella placed her phone down, hit record, glanced at the lens, smiled, moaned like it was real. I sent the clip to Mandy, my attorney. She called back in 10 minutes. "I'll handle this like I handle mob cases." Celine held the press conference. Didn't sit next to me. Sat alone, in front of a dozen cameras. "We are being slandered with fabricated narratives, and we have the receipts." The fake clip got exposed. The internet turned. Hashtag justice for Bella became hashtag exposed Bella. But I still lost a major fund. IPO got postponed. Celine pulled away. And I was now on every high-risk CEO watch list. She left a handwritten note on my desk. "I'm not leaving you. I'm just stepping out of this game. If you're really the man I believed in, win." I folded the note, tucked it into my pocket, looked out the window. The city still lit. The money still moved. The blood was still hot. I stood, straightened my tie, looked my reflection in the glass dead in the eye. New game. This time, I don't play soft. After everything, I wasn't the same Jason anymore. No longer the guy who gifted a car out of love. No longer the idiot who crawled back into bed because he missed her. I was the survivor, and survivors don't flinch. I changed every system password, revoked access, cut off every vendor Marcus had ever recommended. Yeah, Marcus, my old mentor, the guy who taught me how to pitch, once called me a kid with fire but no claws. Now I knew exactly what he was doing behind mine. An anonymous email landed in my inbox. "You should re-watch your Zooms with Marcus. There's a ghost in the call." I checked the logs. 3 recent pitch calls. Someone else had been silently dialed in. Username, Valentina_PR. Bella's new boutique PR firm launched right after the scandal. They didn't just want to ruin me. They wanted my throne. I sent a board-wide message. Emergency meeting in 72 hours. Agenda, executive restructure. Karen replied in 10 minutes. Finally learned how to swing without asking. Boardroom. Marcus at the head, Bella beside him. White blazer dress, legs crossed. Looking at me like a discarded chess piece. I walked in. No laptop, no papers, just a USB drive. I plugged it in, projected the footage. Marcus on a call with a VC. Jason's got vision, but he's soft. This scandal's the perfect time to swap him out. Bella appeared in frame, nodded, smirked, raised her glass. The room went dead quiet. Karen stood up. Vote. Final tally, 4 votes to remove Marcus, 1 abstained, 2 against, Marcus and Bella. Marcus walked out. Bella stayed, stepped closer, eyes glassy, voice soft. I didn't think it'd go this far. I looked at her. Not cold, not angry, just unfamiliar. I know. You didn't think. You calculated. Celine walked in. Black blazer, red lips, eyes like blades. She didn't look at Bella. She looked at me. I nodded. She nodded back. She stood next to me, like the queen had returned to the throne. That night, we didn't talk. We drank. Then we fucked. Not out of rage, not out of triumph, but because we survived. She lay on top of me, sweat sliding down her spine. Her hands slid down my stomach and tugged. She saw the news. Yeah. Did she message? No. Want me to block her IP from the tracker? I laughed softly. No. Let her watch. Every day. Living hurts more than killing. The next morning, I sent out one internal line. Rehome rebooting. No one's forgotten. Some debts just take time. 6 months later, Rehome hit a $280 million valuation. IPO sold out in under 20 minutes. Shares spiked 163% on day one. I didn't attend the celebration party. I sat in my office on the 38th floor, alone. White shirt, one hand on a whiskey glass, watching the sunset bleed across the glass. Celine walked in. No knock, no words. She climbed onto my lap. Dress slid high to the hip, arms around my neck. She saw it. Yeah. Did she message? No. Want me to block her IP from the tracker? I smirked. Let her watch. Every day. Living hurts more than killing. 3 days later, I got a handwritten letter. No return address. Neat cursive. Blue ink. Faint perfume I once knew. Jason, I'm not sorry. I know I was wrong. But if that night I had just held you, instead of walking away, would I be the woman beside you now? B. I folded the letter. Didn't cry. Didn't rage. Just exhaled. That night, Celine and I skipped the gala, drove to a cabin by the lake. No signal, no Wi-Fi, just snow and breathing. She lay across my chest, wearing my oversized white shirt, fingers tangled in my hair. Do you regret loving her? I looked into her eyes. No jealousy, just the depth of a woman who sees through a man's core. No, without her, you wouldn't have had the chance to help build the man I am now. We made love like two survivors of war. No rush, no heat, just real. The next morning, I stood on stage at Tech Vision 2025. First slide came up. One line. Ever been dumped? Silence. I smiled. No bitterness, no performance, just truth. I got dumped for not being rich enough, not polished enough, not powerful enough. But I didn't get even with words. I got even with what I built. I walked off stage, didn't wait for applause, just looked at row 3. Red dress, hair down, glossy eyes. It was her. No longer center stage, just a shadow. I didn't stop, didn't nod, didn't look back, because I knew she was watching. And this time, I didn't have to say a word.